Hello, everybody. My name is Professor Jefferson Noel, and welcome to the Road to Graduation and Greatness. This is a very special episode. Why? Because we are recording from Poland. What? Yes, we are recording from Poland, okay, which is amazing. I had the opportunity, due to my role as a professor at Florida International University, to join what's called the Erasmus Plus program. And they flew me here to Poland to teach students at Poznań University of Technology. They flew me to teach them about communications. And I just had a great session teaching specifically the power of persuasion in public speaking. And I actually have some students that were in the presentation that I just met, and they're not paid to be here. They came here out of the joy of the presentation. And so I'm holding office hours, and I decided, hey, while I'm doing these office hours, we could record a podcast, we could record a conversation. And I'm joined by a great gentleman here. How you doing today?
Thank you. I'm great. I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing wonderful. So I've been having a very difficult time pronouncing names. So I want you to share your name again.
My name is Talha,
Talha.
and I am from Turkey.
Yes. This is Talha from Turkey. As you know, the country of Turkey, the president changed the name.
Yes, a few years ago.
To Turkey. Okay. And so Talha is from Turkey, but he is a student here at Poznań University of Technology.
Mm-hmm.
So before we jump into the conversation, which is going to be about how college can open doors for you to have a global experience, I'm just curious to know, what was your experience in the presentation on communications?
Well, today my experience in this presentation was amazing. Absolutely. Thank you for that, and for your university. Thank you for coming to Poland.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, I guess you came to, this is your second country that you came to explore.
Yeah, well, so the first country I ever gave a speech in outside of the United States was Haiti.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was my first time. But, my parents are from Haiti. Mm-hmm. I've been there a few times. But this is like one of my first experiences in a land where I know nobody. Like, I know nobody. All the communication that I had was with strangers until I got here and met everyone for the first time. And so this is my first time here in Poland, and I actually flew into Copenhagen, Denmark. I was there for a few hours. I had a chance to explore.
It's an amazing city as well.
Yes, yeah. It is. And then just came here.
Yeah. So that's a great opportunity, I guess. And thank you again for coming here. Okay. For the presentation that I can talk about, it actually it was the most persuasive. I cannot find the word. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. You said it's the most persuasive. What is it, lecture?
Yeah, one of the lectures that I really got into it, and it's like I haven't slept last night.
Yeah.
And I am still like in energy, and I am here. I drank 2 Red Bulls, I had 2 coffees, and my heart is beating so fast. So that's why I'm here and having a really good fun, to listening to you, to hearing all these techniques and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it will impact my life at some point.
Good. And one thing that I was surprised by was all of the students that came, they came voluntarily. I thought that I was actually going to come and speak to a class where the students were required to be there. So I'm curious, how did you find out about the presentation, and what made you decide to come?
Well, we found out actually at the very last minute. Our teacher told us there is a conference, something like a small conference like this, if you want to go and join. And it's not compulsory, like she said.
Mm-hmm.
And me and my friend over there wanted to join.
Yeah.
But there is 3 friends that they didn't want to join. They just wanted to go, and I guess they are really sorry to not join to this. They don't get any experience from this, I guess.
Yeah. Man, that's good.
Yeah.
So I do want to have a broader conversation on essentially how education, how higher education can open global doors, because you're from Turkey, I'm from the United States of America, and both of us are here in Poland.
Yeah, that's a really funny thing.
So
That's like a small joke.
exactly. So I'm. How do you want to enter into this conversation? I'm usually the one that gets interviewed. So you want to kick it off with a question that you might have?
I just want to have a little question for you that might be a bit tricky in my mind, because you said you are only in like 2 countries right now, and do you have any ideas to go any other countries and like teach other people about this, or will you change your techniques to European side, because it's kind of much different than the United States.
Yeah.
The working style there and here, because United States, as I heard, it's much more competitive, and here people are thinking about like their lives mostly, not competitive, so it's like they're chill.
Yeah.
So how do you think about this? Will you change your sides, or like
As in move to Europe?
yes?
Oh no. No, I wouldn't move to Europe, but I want to visit very often, because every time I've come to Europe, it's been a phenomenal experience. The people, the culture, the food, the new experiences, being in cities that's been around for hundreds, if not thousands of years, because the United States is very young. Is a very young country. And so seeing the history is actually incredible. I think it was you who told me there's like a castle that's 25 minutes walking from this university.
Yeah, exactly. It's really like literally in the center of the city.
Okay, so I do want to visit that castle, but in the United States of America, there's not any castles to visit as far as I
Maybe
know.
Bruce Wayne has it.
Maybe Bruce Wayne. But in terms of adopting the style of the Europeans, I think it's very interesting because as I understand the European culture, there's an emphasis, and you could tell her to come in. She could come in. There's an emphasis on, rest and health and taking care of yourself. In the US, yes, there's a 5-day work week, technically, but it's really a 6-day work week. And for some people like me, it's a 7-day work week. And that's not healthy, and that's not sustainable long term.
Exactly.
And when I come and I visit other cultures and countries, and I see people who are still effective at what they do while still allowing time to rest, is telling me that I can adopt some of that mentality, still be effective at what I do in the US, but also put an emphasis on rest as well. And you won't really get those perspectives by only reading or only seeing videos online, but actually coming here and feeling the embrace. Like when I was first coming to Poznań, I was Googling, how are the Polish people, right? Because I only have one Polish friend in the US.
And how did you find out?
Huh?
How did you find out the Polish people?
Well, when I ChatGPT, and I started asking, I said, how are the Polish people, right? And it said that they're hospitable, they're caring, they're going to offer you tea and coffee and stuff. Like, every single office I went to, they offered tea and coffee, right? And I was like, oh my God, this is right. And so having the experience is like, wow, this is really good. So to your question, I do see myself adopting some parts of the European mentality because I do think it's helpful.
So you will take this mentality and bring it to the US?
They won't listen to me.
Maybe you can change the style of US.
Oh yeah, well, I have to use my persuasion skills.
Exactly.
I'll tell you, and what you're reading about the US is true. There is a lot of competition. People are very headstrong on being the best, being first place. Now, it's not everybody.
Can I ask something? Is it healthy for you? Like, what do you think about this? Is it healthy to be like competitive like US?
Is it healthy?
Mentally.
I would argue no. is not healthy over a long period of time. It's not sustainable for 10, 15 years if your mentality is always work, 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 work. There's a quote that I love. So I'm a Christian, and I'm supposed to obey the Sabbath. I'm supposed to obey the Sabbath.
Everyone has
and take a day of rest, which I don't do all the time. But there's a quote that I love that says, if you don't observe the Sabbath, then sickness, poor health, accidents will create a Sabbath for you.
Well,
and so if you work, you're going to get sick, and then you're going to be forced to stay in bed for a few days. You're working all the time, you get sleepy, boom, you get into a car accident, you're going to be injured, and you're going to be on bed rest for a month. And so no matter what, you will take a Sabbath, but it's either you're going to do so voluntarily or accidents or sickness will do it to you.
So is this like growing work mentality? Like right now, I guess it's like at the peak point. Everyone is like on the Instagram stories, everywhere is like, you have to work, you have to quit your 9 to 5, and you have to be focused on your job. Not like you have to wake up at 4 a.m. Something like this.
Yeah, that is a mentality. But like I said, so like, I'm not sure if you heard of the Pareto principle, where it's like it's called the 80-20 rule. So it's something to the effect of 20% of the people do 80% of the work, and 80% of the people do 20% of the work. So in the US, it's similar to that, whereas like 20% of the people are driving 80% of the production. So it's not like 100% of the people are ambitious and are always hungry to succeed, always hungry to work. I do think it's a minority of people, but within that minority, it's really aggressive. The competition is really high. And that's why people are afraid to stop working, because if I don't work for 2 days, then that means someone else might get ahead. And that's the mentality. But here's the thing, and I'm going to end with this because I do want to continue some of the interviews. There's I'm trying to think of, it's not a quote. Crap, what am I thinking about? There is a mentality that we should have as people in college where, well, I'm no longer in college, obviously.
You're a professor.
Yeah, I'm a professor. Well, yes, I guess I am in college to some degree. The mentality should be, I'm going to work hard so I can rest later. Not, I'm going to work hard so I can be better than you. Like, for example, in a race, when people are running a race, you could get first place, second place, third place, fourth place, fifth place. And the United States mentality is, we got to get first place. But if I get first place, that means you get second place. And if you get second place, that means someone else get third place. But what I'm starting to realize in life is, it's not necessarily about, that's not how the world works in terms of what place you get in, because we live in a world with ample resources, with ample opportunities. And I think life is not like a race, but it's more so like school, where if I get an A, or in Poland, you all get a 5. If I get an A or a 5, you can still get a 5. You can still get an A. Me getting an A or a 5 doesn't mean you have to get a 4 or a B, right? And the mentality I'm starting to adopt, especially now that I'm traveling, I'm meeting people and I'm engaging, is we all can get a 5 together. We all can get an 8 together. And my success doesn't have to mean your failure. We all can succeed together. So I'll leave it there for now. Any last words you want to say before we end this conversation?
I want you to learn a Turkish word.
Okay, give me one word I could learn.
Oh, it should be very specific. What can it be? Something like a bit.
Yeah, how do I say?
Or
No. Tell me, how do I say thank you very much?
Çok teşekkürler.
Oh, that's easy. Teşekkürler.
Almost, but it's good. It's good.
Good.
I liked it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So thank you so much for watching the road to graduation and greatness. This has been a great and fun conversation. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment, and after you subscribe, click the bell notification so you can hear more about what's happening and more of the conversations we're having. I have a few more students that I'm going to have a conversation with here in Poznań, Poland. Please watch this episode and share it with friends and family. I'll see you across the stage.